With no visitors allowed inside and thus no source of revenue, a museum showcasing Black history in St. Landry Parish is in dire straits and might have to close its doors in early August. Our Scott Brazda has more from Opelousas.
Like many cultural entities, the Rural African American Museum in Opelousas has been knocked for a loop by the coronavirus. No guests allowed in, donations dwindling, and now the museum has been issued an eviction order. They're supposed to be out of here in just a couple weeks. The dollar amount they need, $11,000 by the early part of August. First in Plaisance, now in Opelousas, former teacher Wilken Jones has been the curator of the Rural African American Museum for nearly 30 years.
There's a rich culture over here and a lot of history. And believe me or not, most of the Black history are not in the books or not even documented.
From the outside, this small building on North Main Street doesn't look like much. But inside there's magic. There are gems. There are stories that just ring with emotion.
We had one woman came through here and actually cried, remembering things that her father used, or remembering how they had to use the old outhouse. So a lot of memories are coming back to people, they're experiencing, they're able to touch and share with their grandkids.
But they are pieces of history that may soon be lost. With rent and utilities unpaid since the spring, there's a notice of eviction hanging over the museum.
We have been notified, if you don't come up with X amount of dollars, that you will be removed.
Joan understands his landlord's plight. He harbors no ill will toward him. But he also says if the Rural African American Museum were to disappear in early August, the loss of our past would also damage our present and our future.
The old folks used to say, if you don't know your history, then most likely you don't know where you're going, for your future.
So you ask Mr. Jones, you ask Mr. Williams, you ask hundreds of folks in St. Landry Parish, they will tell you that the Rural African American Museum does indeed matter. You can help, but time is running out. In Opelousas, Scott Brazda, KATC-TV3.